What's happening, people? Happy Monday, everyone. Good morning, Europe, and welcome everyone to our live stream. We are proud to announce the new daily broadcast streamed live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch TV, proudly sponsored by our partners at Forex and Markets.com. Join us every day on your favorite media channel, learn how investments work, win a prize every day, and find out what most Forex brokers don't want you to know. You can find all the links in the description down below, guys. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and support us in delivering more great content. Huge week on the markets this week, guys. America is voting tomorrow. On Friday, we have the NFP numbers. More lockdowns in Europe, and the week is only getting started. Welcome to the European markets opening, everyone. Here's what's happening in the markets today. European stock markets are seen opening lower today with worries about the new lockdowns in the region and uncertainty over the US election outweighing strong economic data from China. UK announces lockdown measures starting Thursday, 5th of November for 28 days. Euro USD is trading lower at 116.42. Oil futures shed 4% on the Asian trading session, trading as low as 34.44. The pound also traded lower, targeting the 129 mark. Will the Red Sea continue on the charts for another week? That is the question. What is going to happen with the US elections? What's going to happen with the European currencies? How will the NFP numbers come out this Friday? Lots of questions, guys, lots of questions, and only 4.5 days left. Let's have a quick look at the charts, guys, and how the markets open today. And in a few minutes, we will have Mark Priest joining us, head of trading at ETX Capital. Big good morning, everyone. Let's get started. We're starting the day with crude oil, guys, which is currently trading at 34.36 after suffering a massive drop of 4% from Friday. We're moving on to the euro US dollar, guys, which is reacting slowly. Last time it traded at 116.29. We're moving on to the pound. Oh, the charts on investing.com are very slow this morning. Let's see what is happening. Right, very slow charts, guys. Very slow charts. Bear with me for a second. I'll try and fix it. I always have a backup. If you remember, these things happen usually at market opening when there's a lot of activity in the markets. We see a bug here and there. Bear with me for a second. Let's have a quick look at the charts and see how the markets open today. There we go. We are using different charts, guys. There we go. Right. Okay. Now we're going to start with gold, guys, on a daily chart, which is currently trading at 1884. Yeah, on a daily chart, we can see gold trading at its lows on Friday. From what we see here, it started pushing slightly higher on Friday. Let's see what's going to happen. It all has to do with the US dollar, guys, and the pressure that the US elections will leave on the markets. Right, Euro USD 116.30, pushing lower, currently testing a very important support level. Will the euro go even lower, targeting the 115 level? Let's see what's going to happen. The pound, guys, is currently trading at 128.95, just like the euro, pushing lower. We see a previous support at 127.27. Okay, it's quite far from the actual market price, but who knows? It might be reached towards the end of the year, guys. We might see a red end of the year. USD JPY currently trading at 104.84 and currently pushing higher in the last couple of trading sessions. US oil, we already mentioned it, 34.40 for US oil this morning, again pushing downwards. UK oil trading at 36.68, again with great potential for the downside. If you look towards the left-hand side, guys, you can see a massive gap which happened on the 5th of March this year, and the gap has been filled in on the 1st of September. What is going to happen with Brent oil futures? We're looking at VIX, guys, the volatility index, which is currently trading at 38, pointing downwards. Right, SPX, guys, the US dollar index, again on a daily chart, it retracted from its lows. It's currently trading at 32.69.96. We see it retracting quite a bit of volume on the markets, guys. If you look at the bottom of the chart for the US dollar index, Bitcoin gave back some gains on Thursday and Friday, guys, and over the weekend, Bitcoin gained again, currently trading as high as 13,715, targeting the 13,800 level probably once again. Good start of the markets, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to come back in 30 seconds with Mark Priest, head of trading at ETX Capital, live from the sunny London. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mark Priest. Do we have sound? Do we have image in London?
We have sound.
Hello, we should have image as well, Mark. Make sure the camera is working. There we go. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mark Priest, the head of trading at ETX Capital, live from the sunny London. How are you, Mark?
Yeah, I don't know about the sunny London, but live from London anyway.
Good morning. Is London sunny today? How is the weather?
Absolutely not. It is awful.
Awful. Is it raining?
Awful. It's raining again.
All right. Right. We see European shares opening lower today, Mark. We see a lot of pressure on the pound with the Brexit coming. We had last week Michel Barnier, the EU delegation in UK. How is the pound looking? Is it likely to see the pound trading in red by the end of the year?
Well, I think, if we look a little bit shorter term, I think this week really is all going to be about the dollar. Obviously, with the election, we've got FOMC this week as well. There's a lot of news to affect the sterling with Brexit coming up. We did see a report that perhaps they had reached some agreement on the fishing rights, which again would help the pound. But again, if we look at the US, the story in the papers this weekend was with Biden aligning himself with the EU. If that's the case, then I think on sterling we're going to see a little bit of weakness.
We're going to see a bit of weakness on the sterling. Yes, that's what the technical analysis shows as well. What I'm afraid of is that none of the markets around the world will do well this year. Is it very likely to see another Red Sea in December? And should we hope for the markets to recover early next year, like we saw in 2019?
Yes, but it's with the COVID stories still abound across the world. It's very difficult to predict because the longer the lockdowns carry on, until we get some kind of good news in the form of a vaccine, these markets are going to stay on a knife edge, really. From the news this weekend with the UK lockdown, again, we've seen a lot of the sectors being hit, especially the travel, the entertainment and the leisure industries are going to be absolutely, decimated until we see some kind of resolution. So, trade with caution, I think, is the
trade with caution is the word of the day. Very well said, Mark. Very well said. Now, we also saw yesterday Boris Johnson announced a new lockdown in UK starting this Thursday on the 5th.
Yep.
Okay, again, more pressure on the pound, more pressure on the European currencies. Last week we had the ECB meeting, Christine Lagarde. She gave us some hopes of new stimulus measures, but we're gonna see a clear indication in December. Yeah, at their meeting, end of the year meeting.
I think they have no choice, really. With lockdowns across Europe and now in the UK as well, I think the governments have to step up to the plate and inject some kind of stimulus into the system because otherwise we're looking at a global catastrophe, really. So
we are. We saw what happened with the stimulus measures. Sorry to cut you off, Mark. We saw what happened with the stimulus measures in the US. They are still nowhere to be seen. Most probably they will be announced shortly after the elections. What do you reckon? Was that a key phase that President Donald Trump was trying to play to make sure he wins the elections if he released the stimulus before?
I think it was on his mind to try and ensure that there would be some good news, because he is trailing quite significantly in the polls.
Yeah.
So obviously he would like to have that in place as a sort of a good news story. But he didn't manage to do it, and unfortunately, I think it might play against him.
That's
By all
what I'm thinking as well. Yeah,
we're looking at a Biden win, but I think the election is, the result is going to sort of stretch on and on with a lot of kind of legal rumblings because of vote counting, postal votes. I think that's going to cause a lot of issues long term.
Exactly. That would be my next question. For now, we see Joe Biden leading in the polls. Yeah, he has majority in the polls. We might see Joe Biden winning. Where's that going to send the US dollar?
Well, again, a report I was reading today, if the Democrats get the Senate as well, they're expecting a bit of dollar weakness, surprisingly. So again, volatility is going to play a massive part, and we have to wait and see how it plays out. As I said, I think there's going to be a lot of uncertainty even tomorrow on when we get the result, as it were. I think there's going to be a lot of legal wranglings. Trump's obviously not going to want to leave the White House peacefully and quietly, and I think we're going to see a few weeks of court cases possibly over the postal votes. So expect a lot of volatility in the dollar.
Exactly. That's what I was saying last week. Donald Trump might dispute, if he loses the elections, he might dispute the elections.
Amazingly enough, you never thought you'd hear me say it, but I think that's probably true, yes.
Right. Okay. So long-term trading out of the question, at least as things stand right now, with tremendous pressure on the world currencies and the world commodities and the stock markets. Yeah, with the COVID pandemic, okay, with U.S. elections, and obviously with the Brexit situation in Europe. Very difficult.
Yeah, it's a very strange time. I mean, there's a lot of news. There's obviously the election. There's coronavirus causing havoc everywhere, and then on top of that, we've got Brexit as well. So, we expect to see some big moves in these markets.
Big moves, but over short term.
Correct, yeah.
Right. Okay. Mark Priest, everyone. Mark, thank you ever so much for being with us today. I'm looking forward to seeing you live again, hopefully next week after the U.S. elections, and see how the markets will react then.
Great.
Thank you so much, Mark. Have a great day. Mark Priest from London, everyone. See what's happening with the markets. Okay, let's move on to a couple of interesting articles and see what is expected to happen with the markets today. We're looking at European stock markets set to lower opening today, with worries about new lockdowns in the region and uncertainty over the U.S. election outweighing strong economic data from China. At 2:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the DAX futures in Germany traded 0.5% lower. CAC 40 futures in France dropped 0.5%, and the FTSE 100 futures in UK fell 0.4% as well. The UK became the latest European country to re-enter lockdown over the weekend, instituting a one-month stay-at-home policy for all of England to start Thursday, with the exception of schools, universities, and essential stores, as the number of COVID-19 cases affecting its population surpassed 1 million cases. To top it up, France and Germany imposed similar partial shutdowns last week, while Italy is likely to expand upon its current lockdown policies, with Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte set to speak to Parliament later on today. European leaders are desperately trying to halt a surge in the virus before the holiday season at the end of the year, but these new measures risk sending the region's economy back into recession, just as recovery looked in sight. As such, the final Eurozone manufacturing PMI will be announced today, and it might represent interim high point in the current cycle. Over in the US, across the pond, guys, tomorrow's presidential elections draws near. Democrat Joe Biden still maintains a comfortable lead over President Donald Trump in the national polls, But the polling is key swing states tend to be a lot closer, according to WSJ-NBC poll. This has resulted in a great deal of uncertainty over not only the outcome, but also the result that will be confirmed and whether it will be accepted without rancor. Well, this is exactly what I was talking to Mark about. I don't know if Donald Trump will leave the White House silently, how most presidents do. He announced many times that he will dispute if he loses these elections. Let's see what's going to happen. Until then, the markets remain very choppy today, guys. Let's have a quick look at the charts and see how the markets open today. Let's try and refresh the page, guys. Let's see if the charts on investing.com have recovered after the opening. Bear with me for just a second. There we go. We're back to the live charts. Come on, I'm very curious to see how the European indices opened this morning. Okay, right. Let's have a quick look at the DAX, guys, and see how the DAX opened this morning. Come on, charts, help us out. Right, there we go. DAX futures, guys. DAX is, yes, negative opening for the DAX, currently trading at 11,589. Yeah, and by the looks of it, it's going to point lower today. Okay, let's have a quick look at Euro USD, guys. Euro USD or the cable to see if the markets calm down a bit after the European opening. No, again, there we go. The chart's loaded. Right, wow, very bad opening for the pound, guys. It's trading lower at 128.76 this morning. Let's have a quick look at the euro. Right, euro. Again, as things stand right now, we see a green candlestick at the very bottom of the chart, guys. Euro is trading at 116.32. Again, really very weak potential for the upside for the European currencies today, considering UK has already announced new lockdown measures and more pressure is on the markets today. And let's not forget, guys, that tomorrow we have the US elections. Right, this was it from my side today. Join me in the afternoon, guys, at the US opening. Let's ring the bell for the first time this week, one day ahead of US elections. And in the afternoon, I'm going to have João Monteiro, founder and CEO at Forexy, bringing us more insights on the US markets as we get closer to the US market opening. Until then, remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money.